Actor Kevin Spacey will face a judge over allegations of assault. More than a dozen men, some anonymously, have accused Spacey of misconduct, harassment, or assault. Now he's facing his first criminal charge when he goes to court next month. The charges against the two-time Oscar winner stem from an alleged incident in July 2016. Spacey's accused of groping the 18-year-old son of a Boston TV anchor. Heather Unruh came forward in November 2017, saying Spacey stuck his hand down her son's pants at a restaurant in Nantucket.
Kevin Spacey bought him drink after drink after drink. And when my son was drunk, Spacey made his move and sexually assaulted him. And I want to make it clear, this was a criminal act.
Spacey faces charges of indecent assault and battery and is due in court on January 7th. But yesterday, shortly after the charge became public, Spacey posted a video on YouTube.
So we're not done, no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back.
That's the language of his character, Frank Underwood, from the Netflix political thriller House of Cards.
Welcome to Washington.
Underwood was killed off the show after allegations against Spacey began in late 2017. And this is the first time he's appeared as the character since.
Despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headlines, the impeachment without a trial, despite everything, despite even my own death, I feel surprisingly good.
Spacey's last public comments were in October 2017, after his first accuser, 47-year-old actor Anthony Rapp, said Spacey climbed on top of him when Rapp was just 14 years old. At the time, Spacey tweeted, "I honestly do not remember the encounter, but if I did behave then, as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology. This story has encouraged me to address other things about my life. I choose now to live as a gay man. I want to deal with this honestly and openly, and that starts with examining my own behavior." Spacey also remains under investigation for sexual assault in Los Angeles over an alleged incident in 2016 and faces accusations from his time as artistic director of London's Old Vic Theatre. And to talk about Spacey's unusual response and how other accused men are attempting comebacks, we turn to Alyssa Wilkinson, a film critic for Vox, who's been watching a number of these cases and joins me via Skype from Albany, New York. Thank you very much for joining us on the NewsHour. I'll be honest, I'm a little baffled when I watched this video. What was your response to it?
I was also baffled. I couldn't figure out what he was trying to do, why he was doing it as Frank Underwood, a notorious lying and murdering character, or what the purpose was at all.
Do we have any idea whether this is some kind of comeback?
Well, it's hard to say. What we do know is that Netflix, which carried House of Cards, declined to comment and made it clear many times that they don't want to work with him again. House of Cards is not coming back. But what he could be trying to do is convince a certain number of his fans that he's trying to stage a comeback anyhow, that they shouldn't judge him based on these allegations or other accusations that have been coming forward over the past year, and that they should do this because of the kind of character that he's played in the past.
Could that kind of message be received well by his fans?
I think it's a very small number of people who would receive it well. You know, if you've watched House of Cards, you know that this character is, again, a cheat, a liar. He never says anything truthful unless it benefits him. He murders people to get his way. And so most people, I think, who watch the show know that this character, even if they kind of admire him a little, he's not someone that you're supposed to trust. But with most TV shows about anti-heroes, there is a group of people who watch them and think that's someone to emulate. And you can imagine people finding something kind of interesting or intriguing or honest about this character.
You've been writing not only about this, but also other men who have been accused of misconduct or harassment or assault in the last year and a half or so. How does this moment that it seems as though Spacey's trying to seize compare to some of these other men who've been accused and their attempts to try and get back into the public eye?
Yeah, it's really interesting to look at this. So, for instance, Spacey himself, when allegations first came out against him a year ago, he tried to deflect them by coming out at the same time and saying he wanted to be honest and open and live as a gay man, which was not anything anyone was talking about. They were talking about him making unwanted sexual advances towards a minor. But you can also look at men, for instance, like Harvey Weinstein, when allegations came out against him in October of 2017. His response was to issue a letter that seemed to take them very lightly and say he was going to spend his time fighting the National Rifle Association, which is not related in any way, again. Or you can think about someone like Louis C.K., who has a very different set of allegations against him, but he's been making a comeback in New York, doing sets at comedy clubs. And in his first set that was kind of announced, he made jokes about rape whistles, which seems like an unforced error. Why would you do that? So we kind of see this over and over where men who have been powerful, maybe they've been celebrities, maybe the truth is that they've just been used to kind of not really being connected to reality in a way that has, I don't know, coddled them or given a different sense of who they are and how people respond to them than is actually the case.
So their fame has somehow allowed them to deflect in the past or somehow think that they can get away with this conduct. But is there any sense that they can get away with it, that haven't we changed, haven't we gone beyond the point where the fame allows them to do what they've been doing?
Right. Well, this is kind of what we're figuring out right now. We're a little over a year out from when the big Me Too movement began, when all these allegations against famous people started to sort of tumble out. And we're starting to see right now people like Louis C.K., like perhaps Kevin Spacey seems to be doing, trying to make a comeback into the public eye. The question is whether the public is accepting of that, and also I think whether people are looking for true sense of honesty or self-awareness or something like repentance before they are willing to bring that person back and say, you know, we love you like we used to. And unfortunately, in some of these cases, both Weinstein and Spacey, for instance, you know, they were kind of open secrets in Hollywood. A lot of people knew these sorts of things were going on for a long time, so it wasn't a shocker. And they're very serious allegations.
Yes, they are. Alissa Wilkinson with Vox, thank you very much.
Thank you.